Hello, my dear friends, and welcome back to another episode of The Gentle Path. As always, it's such a pleasure to spend this time with you, sharing thoughts about life's journey, especially as we move into this beautiful season of wisdom and clarity. Today, we're reflecting on 7 things that often lose their power to weigh us down after the age of 70. These are lessons that life itself gently teaches us over the years. Lessons about what truly matters and what never really deserved our energy in the first place. Now, as I share these reflections, I hope you'll make yourself comfortable. Maybe you've settled in your favorite chair, a cup of tea resting warmly between your hands. Or perhaps you're taking a quiet moment outdoors, letting the breeze carry this message to you. Wherever you are, know that you're exactly where you're meant to be. Let's dive in, and we'll begin with the first thing that begins to fade in importance: other people's opinions. Do you remember those younger years when the approval of others carried so much weight? Perhaps you worried about how you dressed, the choices you made, or the dreams you pursued. It was exhausting, wasn't it? But one of the gifts of aging, and I truly believe it is a gift, is the ability to finally let go of that need. You begin to realize that most opinions are fleeting, inconsistent, and often rooted in someone else's fears or insecurities, not your truth. Take Eleanor, a woman I once met who, at 74, made the simple yet profound decision to stop worrying about what her neighbors thought of her bright, eclectic garden. She started planting what she loved, even if it wasn't conventional. And she took up painting again, letting her colorful, imperfect creations shine proudly on her walls. And you know what? Eleanor told me she hadn't felt so alive in decades. There's a quiet power in living unapologetically. It's not about being dismissive of others. It's about honoring your voice above the noise. Which brings me to the next point. Trends. Trends. They're everywhere, aren't they? From the clothes we wear to the technology we use, there's always a push to keep up. But after 70, something miraculous happens. You realize that staying on trend isn't really what life is about. My friend Harold, at 78, tells this wonderful story of how he ditched the latest gadgets for a pair of soft, comfortable corduroy pants and a stack of paper books. "I don't need my phone to be smarter," he chuckled. "I just wanted to make calls." And truly, isn't that what life is about? Finding comfort and joy in what serves you, not in what others tell you is necessary. There's a beautiful freedom in making choices that reflect you, not a passing fad. As Harold says, clothing that feels good, music that soothes the spirit, and a room filled with the things that make me smile. That's all I need. Now, let's talk about regret. Oh, regret. We all carry it, don't we? Choices we wish we could change, words we wish we'd never said, or moments we wish we could relive. But after 70, something softens. The perspective shifts. You begin to understand something powerful. Your past isn't a list of mistakes. It's a map. Every twist, every detour led you to exactly where you needed to be. Walter, at 81, finally made peace with a decision he'd agonized over for decades, turning down a high-paying job that would have uprooted his family. Only now does he look back with gratitude, noticing how that choice kept him present for the moments that mattered most. School recitals, bedtime stories, the laughter of children in his own backyard. Here's what I truly believe. Regret can only live in the past, while life continues unfolding in the present. When you forgive your younger self for not knowing then what you know now, you grant yourself the freedom to carry your past like a lantern, not a burden. Another thing that loses its grip is comparison. You've seen it. You've probably felt it too. Looking at someone else's life and thinking their road looks easier, brighter, or more polished than your own. But after a certain point, the urge to compare begins to fade. Lois was like that. She told me how at 75, social media had her feeling as though she was somehow falling short. Others were vacationing, celebrating milestone anniversaries, and posting pictures of grandchildren. But then she paused, looked around her own life, and saw a garden teeming with life, a quiet home filled with treasured memories, and friends who mattered more than any online post ever could. You see, comparison steals your joy, and as you grow older, you learn to celebrate what others have without diminishing your unique blessings. Your journey is yours and no one else's. Isn't that a comforting thought? Now, let's shift our focus to the body, pushing it beyond its limits. For much of our lives, we push, strive, and stretch ourselves thin in the name of pride or productivity. But by the time 70 rolls around, your body begins to ask for gentler care, and you start to listen. Charles, for example, used to insist on mowing his own lawn in the sweltering heat, until a dizzy spell forced him to rethink things. Now he sips iced tea under the shade while a neighborhood teen handles the heavy lifting, both of them trading stories about baseball and life as the work gets done. Let me say this clearly. Slowing down doesn't mean giving up. It means honoring the body that's carried you through decades of life. Think of it as an act of love, not limitation. And then there's grudges. The poison of unresolved anger. Holding on to a grudge can feel protective, but more often than not, it's exhausting, like drinking bitter tea and expecting someone else to feel the effect. Phyllis, at 79, knows this. A years-long rift with her sister melted away in a single phone call after her surgery, reminded her of life's fragility. Forgiveness isn't weakness, it's strength. It's choosing to make space in your heart for joy rather than resentment. Which brings us to our final reflection, rushing to meet someone else's timeline. Life, as they say, unfolds at its own pace, and after 70, you see the truth. Those cultural schedules we've been handed, graduate by 22, marry by 30, retire by 65, are entirely arbitrary. Henry, at 82, began piano lessons this year. It's not about being good at it, he says. It's about loving it. And isn't that all we ever need? To pursue what lights us up, no matter when or how. As we close this time together, let me offer this thought. Life after 70 isn't a winding down. Rather, it's a waking up. A chance to put down the weight of others' expectations and embrace the lightness of being fully, unapologetically yourself. Every step you've taken, every regret, every comparison, every hard-fought moment has brought you here. And here is exactly where you're meant to be. Thank you for allowing me to share these moments with you today. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What resonated with you? What do you feel ready to let go of? Your comments mean the world to me, and they often inspire the next episode of The Gentle Path. Until next time, please be kind to yourself. Take life at your own pace, and as always, walk gently.